Sana ay asa maayos kayong katayuan sa panonood ng aking video ngayon. Hi folks, ito ang newscaster na si Stephanie Reyes na nag-uulat mula sa Explorer 100 at isang Journey Begins Studio Channel, mangyaring panoorin. Ang Mission Impossible ng Israel Mossad team kung paano pinagplanuhan at isagawa ang pagpasok sa Syrian airspace at matagumpay na pagwasak sa plutonium nuclear facilities ng bansang Syria. Mga ka-explorer, panoorin at mamangha sa husay at galing ng mga Israeli Air Force pilots gamit ang kanilang F-14 at F-15 fighter jets. Courtesy source, salamat sa Wonder YouTube channel. Mangyaring i-like, ibahagi, at mag-subscribe sa aming YouTube channel at gayon din sa Wonder YouTube channel. Without further words, let's go! Ang operasyon para sirain ang nukleyar na proyekto ng Syria, na kilala bilang Operation Orchard, ay isinagawa ng Mossad ng Israel at ng Israeli Air Force, IAF, noong 2007. Narito ang isang maikling buod ng mga pangunahing elemento ng operasyon. Isa, intelligence gathering. Natukoy ni Mossad ang isang kahina-hinalang pasilidad sa Syria noong unang bahagi ng 2007, na matatagpuan malapit sa Deir, ez-Zor. Ang mga ahente ng Mossad ay pumasok sa mga lokasyon na nakatali sa mga opisyal ng Syria at nakakuha ng mahalagang impormasyon, kabilang ang mga larawan na nagsiwalat na ang pasilidad ay isang nuclear reactor na itinayo sa tulong ng North Korean. 2. Madiskarteng Pagpaplano. Pagkatapos ma-verify na ang reactor ay malapit ng gumana, nagpa siya ang mga opisyal ng Israel na kumilos ng mabilis. Nagplano sila ng isang patagang airstrike upang sirain ang reactor bago ito maging functional, na pumipigil sa anumang panganib ng radioactive fallout. 3. Pagpapatupad ng operasyon. Noong gabi ng ika-6 ng Setyembre taong 2007, ang Israeli Air Force, IAF, ay naglunsad ng isang sorpresang airstrike kasama sa misyon ng mga F-15 at F-16 fighter jet na lumipad ng mababa upang maiwasan ang pagtuklas ng radar na pumasok sa airspace ng Syria at matagumpay na binomba ang pasilidad. 4. Secrecy and aftermath. Nanatiling lihim ang operasyon sa loob ng maraming buwan, at hindi ito hayagang kinilala ng Israel o Syria noong una. Itinanggi ng Syria na ang pasilidad ay isang nuclear reactor. Nang maglaon, kinumpirma ng internasyonal na komunidad na ito ay isang plutonium reactor na katulad ng pasilidad ng iyong bayan ng Hilagang Korea. Ang Operation Orchard ay itinuturing na isang kritikal na tagumpay para sa Israeli intelligence at katumpakan ng militar, na pumipigil sa pagbuo ng isang potensyal na armas nuclear ng Syria. Salamat po mga ka-explorer sa pagtangkilik. Pakiusap, don't forget to subscribe at hit the bell icon. Explorer 100 at isang journey begins.
Hostile country is trying to build a nuclear bomb. Behind the plot is a mastermind focused on the destruction of Israel.
General Mohammed Suleiman hated Israelis, hated the state of Israel.
It will take 3 elite Black Ops units to deal with this menace. Special forces operating deep within enemy territory to confirm the threat.
That was an extremely risky intel gathering mission. If there was a mistake made, that could have been war.
An elite flying unit to take it out.
They destroyed their target, they exited, they lost nothing.
And finally, an assassination unit to deal with the man behind the threat.
3 of them came as scuba divers to his beach house, shot him, and then disappeared.
This is the top secret story of the Israeli strike against Syria. North Korea, 2004. Deep inside the secretive communist state, a train travels through a remote northern town. Then suddenly,
in April of 2004, there was a massive train explosion in northern North Korea.
The explosion is so enormous, it registers magnitude 3.6, equivalent to a small earthquake.
It killed several hundred people, destroyed a town of 10,000 people, left 2,000 people wounded.
According to the North Korean government, the train was carrying liquefied petroleum. But before anyone can discover anything more, the regime forbids further reporting on the incident.
A week later, they banned all use of cell phones in North Korea for 5 years.
Just what is going on in the rogue nuclear state? 5,000 miles away, one nation is following the incident with great interest. Meir Dagan is Israel's top spy, the chief of the Israeli intelligence agency, Mossad.
Meir Dagan was a legendary figure in the Israeli security establishment. He had a reputation for being very brutal in what he was prepared to do in pursuit of Israel's national security interest.
North Korea behaving secretly is nothing new. But what intrigues Dagan are intelligence reports that a Syrian aircraft has now landed in North Korea. Contact between North Korea and the Arab world is unusual and highly concerning to Israel.
That was when the Israelis started to take a closer interest in what was going on.
The plane is supposed to be delivering aid, but instead it seems it is being loaded with the bodies of victims of the crash. More than that, the bodies are being transported in lead-lined coffins and are carried by men wearing chemical weapons suits. This is extremely strange. Then Dagan is informed that the bodies in the lead coffins are not North Koreans, but Syrian scientists.
There were 12 Syrian scientists from something called the Syrian Scientific Research Center, their covert military research and acquisition center.
It raises a terrifying possibility for Dagan. Could North Korea be helping Syria to build a nuclear weapon? Dagan has to find out more. It becomes a top priority for Mossad and will eventually lead to one of the most extraordinary black ops of all time. Two years later, a woman walks into a London hotel bar. Her arrival is noticed by a man who has been drinking alone. But this is no innocent meeting. The man is a high-ranking Syrian nuclear official traveling to London alone.
He comes to London, residing in a posh hotel. He has a meeting tomorrow morning in London, but he has the night or the evening to spend. He goes to the bar of the hotel and extremely happy that in the bar he meets a woman with a wonderful character.
But what the Syrian doesn't know is that he is under surveillance. Mossad had been alerted to the Syrian's visit when he checked into a hotel under a false name.
The Israelis dispatched teams of people to monitor.
Unaware he is being watched, the Syrian continues to flirt with the woman.
And she's also impressed by him. He orders another drink and another drink, and he's confident that he has a wonderful way of spending the night.
But he is also unaware that the woman is not as she seems.
He doesn't know that this woman is a part of the Mossad crew, and she was there to keep him busy while her team is breaking into his hotel room.
Mossad agents are members of the Neviot unit, experts in covert bugging.
A team specialized in breaking into hotel rooms.
It takes barely seconds for the Neviot team to override the hotel room security. Once inside, they realize they have hit the jackpot. The Syrian official has left his laptop completely unguarded. Immediately, they go to work.
The Mossad was able to break in, get its hands on the laptop computer, and copy its contents off the hard drive.
The agents transfer the entire contents of the computer hard drive to Mossad HQ in Tel Aviv instantaneously.
They took all the information from the computer, and then they put devices on the computer to monitor any future activity from that computer.
As they leave the room, the female Mossad agent abandons the hapless Syrian. Within 15 minutes, Dagan and his analysts are looking at the files in Tel Aviv.
When they open it, they find a lot of different details and documents.
What they found on his computer was really rather extraordinary.
On one folder, they found JPEGs that looked very odd.
Appearing on the screens in front of Dagan are hundreds of photos documenting the construction of a large industrial facility.
It was clear that this is an unknown facility, a huge one.
The building they saw was quite large, 130 feet by 130 feet by 70 feet tall.
Initially, the building resembles a treehouse on stilts, with pipes leading to a pumping station. Later photos show modifications, and eventually the entire complex is hidden beneath a huge roof. Initially, Dagan is unsure of what the facility might be. But then it begins to dawn on him what the images are showing. He sees large industrial equipment inside the facility. It is an exact replica of something Dagan has seen before in intelligence images from North Korea.
They showed that it was almost an exact replica of the Yongbyon nuclear weapons facility in North Korea.
It was exactly the same reactor. The two were perfectly matched.
Dagan is in no doubt as to what they have uncovered.
The evidence was overwhelming.
North Korea is building a nuclear reactor in Syria.
Further evidence from the laptop confirms it.
There were blueprints of the nuclear power plant. There were pictures of the nuclear power plant.
The Israelis even had photographs of Syrians and North Korean nuclear experts together.
It is Israel's nightmare scenario. A hostile nuclear power on its own doorstep.
It was a nuclear reactor that can be used only for military purpose.
Whoever is building this has only one purpose: to assemble a nuclear bomb.
Intent on finding out, he orders Israeli satellites to monitor potential sites. Eventually, they close in on a remote area of Syria called Al-Kabar, where some highly unusual communications have been monitored.
They intercepted a very unusual spike of telephone communications from this location at Al-Kabar, which is in the middle of nowhere in the desert, to Pyongyang, North Korea.
It was very far from the capital Damascus. It was in a remote part of northeastern Syria, but not far from the Euphrates River and the border with Iraq.
Israeli satellites now pinpoint a large building at Al-Kabar. When they compare them with the stolen images from the Syrian laptop, it is a perfect match. Al-Kabar has to be the site of Syria's nuclear weapons program. Armed with the intel on the Syrian facility, Dagan goes to see the Israeli Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert.
Mayor Dagan came to see Prime Minister Olmert and told him this dramatic news that Syria is in an advanced stage of developing nuclear weapons.
The Israeli Prime Minister immediately recognizes the seriousness of the threat.
Olmert said one thing right at the start, and that was the Syrian nuclear weapons program is simply intolerable for Israel. It cannot be permitted. This is an existential threat to Israel. This reactor has to go away.
The only way to be rid of the nuclear weapons program is to blow up the reactor. But first, he has a series of questions for Dagan. Most importantly, how far advanced is the reactor? If it is already operational, then a bombing could cause a catastrophe.
If the reactor is already active, then full destruction of the reactor might cause an enormous environmental pollution and poisoning.
Mga ka-explorer, subaybayan po natin ang mga susunod kabanata para updated po tayo sa mga kaganapan. Sana ay nagustuhan niyo sa panonood ang Operation Orchard ng Mossad ng Israel. Hanggang sa muli, ito ang newscaster na si Stephanie Reyes na nag-uulat mula sa Explorer 100 at isang Journey Begins Studio Channel. Mangyaring huwag po nating kalimutang mag-like, mag-share, at mag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. PKI hit na rin po natin ang bell icon para lagi po tayo updated sa mga susunod na videos. Malaking tulong po sa aming mga beginners ang inyong pagsuporta. Marami pong salamat. Ang pagpapala po ng ating mahal na Diyos Ama ay sumaatin pong lahat in Jesus' name. God bless to all po at palagi po tayong mag-iingat. Salamat po mga ka-explorer sa pagtangkilik sa Explorer